I see a lot of hype on social media about the Lakers offseason. Personally, I think they have done a good job adding talent on a budget while not giving up any assets. But I feel like most Laker fans won't admit their biggest issue. It involves their three best players, LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. I will say if it wasn't 40-year-old LeBron James, it'd be a near perfect fit, but that's just not the case anymore, unfortunately. So therefore, right now, in my eyes, their three best players don't have enough athleticism, hustle, and defense. They are low motor players in terms of the little things. They don't thrive at the dirty work, and all three of them are elite offensive players, which is great. However, in today's NBA, I think it's critical that your top three is filled with two-way high motor players willing to do the dirty work 24/7. Look at OKC, Shea, Jalen Williams, and Chet. Even the Pacers, Tyrese Haliburton doesn't fit that mold, but Pascal Siakam, Andrew Nembhard, and Aaron Nesmith were kings in that category during their playoff run. And the year before this season, you had Boston winning it all, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they bring that as well. You get the point. This is my biggest issue with the Lakers. So I looked into the numbers to see if my eye test backs it up. Per PivotFade.com, the three-man lineup of LeBron, Luka, Reeves, 423 total minutes, 121.8 offensive rating, which is great, but 121.2 defensive rating, only a plus 0.6 net rating. Now replace one of them with a defensive-minded player, a hustler, Luka, Finney Smith, and Austin Reeves last season. 442 minutes, 126.7 offensive rating, 110.7 defensive rating, plus 16 net rating, and overall plus 131 in the plus-minus category. Luka, Finney Smith, and LeBron, same type of success. 390 minutes played, 124.1 offensive rating, 115 defensive rating, plus 9.1 net rating, plus 66 overall in the plus-minus category. Along with that, those three lineups had a combined rebounding percentage of 48, which would have them ranked 25th last season. On top of that, offensive rebounding percentage was 21.8, easily last in the league. The worst belonged to the Milwaukee Bucks at 23.5. Also, second worst in steals per game for the playoffs. Also, right in the middle of the pack for blocks per game. Basically, the identity at which OKC won the title was non-existent in the Lakers last season. And I think a lot has to do with their three best players not striving in those areas. Personally, I'd be way more confident in the Lakers doing something with Luka, LeBron, and someone like Herb Jones on the floor than their current big three of Reeves, Luka, and LeBron. That's my problem with them. Their best players don't mesh and facilitate each other's weaknesses. In my opinion, there's too much of the same. So what is the answer? I don't know, because Austin Reeves fits the Luka timeline and is a near 20 point per game scorer, and those don't really grow on trees. So trading him, if it's not the perfect trade, could be a mistake down the road, considering LeBron will be out of here shortly, it seems. But I'm definitely not opposed to trading either Reeves or LeBron for the right package, emphasis on the right package. Because I think improving on those down areas that we went over with the advanced numbers will be tough with their current big three playing large minutes together. However, they are in a fortunate spot that leads me to what their main focus should be moving forward. They need to organize the roster to get the best version out of Luka, aka the Luka we saw take Dallas to the finals. That roster really brought out his strengths while hiding his weaknesses. Also, think about who gave the championship version of OKC the most trouble. A Nikola Jokic and Tyrese Haliburton led offense. You need someone who can consistently create great looks for themselves or others to stand a chance. You surround Luka with the right pieces and he comes back motivated. He's that guy. You saw how an offensively flawed Minnesota team fared versus OKC. You have to be in offensive firepower to stand a chance for sure. And we saw Luka even before at Dallas. He was cooking against OKC. Now, I will say, I think that Thunder team was not nearly as good, but you get my point. Another problem I have with the roster is I feel like there's a lot of one-way players. And of course, as we mentioned, it starts with their best players. But also guys like Jared Vanderbilt, really a game changer defensively, but he can't play high minutes because he's nothing offensively. And even some of their better role players like Marcus Smart, he's hit or miss offensively. And because of this, I feel like they can't even get the potential out of their big three offensively. And this is more so of a worry in the playoffs. That leads me to saying my favorite addition for the Lakers is definitely Deandre Ayton, because when he lives up to his potential, he's effective on both ends of the floor. I honestly feel like it's underrated considering they had Jackson Hayes starting most of the year and early in the playoffs. Also, no shade to Hayes. He played well until the playoffs, but he's just not a starter if you're a serious team. Now, is Ayton perfect? Heck no. But it's still a significant upgrade. Last time he had a playmaker like Luka, he earned himself a max contract. I'm talking about CP3, of course. Many won't credit Ayton for that Suns finals run, but he was unreal. 15 points, 11 rebounds, while shooting 65% from two during that run. He went toe-to-toe with Nikola Jokic. He also dominated versus the Clippers in the conference finals. If they had the MVP for the conference finals during that time, he probably would have got it. 17 points, 13 rebounds, while shooting 66%. Now, he's not the craziest lob threat, certainly can catch lobs, but not at the level of Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. However, his mid-range game will be so lethal next to Luka. He's never really played with a big with this style who has that ability to hit mid-range jumpers all game long. Porzingis was the closest thing, but he's mostly pick and pop to the three-point line. So it will definitely be interesting to see if it helps him or hurts him. We have seen Luka's rim attempts go down every single season. So maybe a big who demands the respect of the defense at the mid-range level, the paint level, will open up the rim more for Luka. I also think Ayton will be motivated. He's no longer on a max contract, so if he reverts to bad Deandre Ayton, he will be living off the cheap type of contract that the Lakers got him on right now for the rest of his career. He's in a spot where he has to prove it again, but on top of that, he's in a spot where he will be spoon-fed to get his game off, and we saw that in Phoenix. He can rise to the occasion in that situation. So I'm expecting great things out of him next year. My worry with him would be down the road if the Lakers signed him to a bigger contract. Because I think in that situation, he'll start, taking his foot off the gas just like he did in Portland and also later in his career in Phoenix after he got that contract. Also, a big fan of Jake LaRavia. He's the definition of doing the dirty work. His defense is phenomenal, and his shooting is trending great. I'm lower on the Marcus Smart signing than the consensus because he's never been a good shooter for the amount of shots he takes. His defense has taken a step back, and he's been struggling to stay on the court. His best days are behind him, and imagine Luka, Reeves, LeBron, Marcus Smart, and DeAndre Ayton on the court at the same time. Do you really think they stand a chance at getting loose balls versus quick, athletic, young teams? I think he will be good for the locker room, but my fear is they start him because of his resume. But at this point, I think he's just a bench piece on a championship roster. Overall, right now, I have them in the middle tier of the Western Conference. I don't think they are serious threats quite yet. They're trending that way if another move is made, like adding Andrew Wiggins. I saw that as a rumor from Lakers fans, and I think that would be great. And then you get Luka playing like an MVP like he did in Dallas. You certainly got a chance, but those are my thoughts right now as I see the roster. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you agree? Do you disagree?